Hello and welcome to my Vintage Audiophile channel. This is now my 89th video. Today I'm going to be talking about the LXI series components that I have. Very first stereo system I ever had was an LXI system. I loved the thing. I played it and played it and played it until it died. I still liked the LXI brand, so I bought this second unit in the mid-80s. It is made by, or actually marketed by Sears. It was their house brand. They were in competition with Montgomery Ward's, who had the Performance series of stereo equipment, and of course the JCPenney MCS line, which is getting harder and harder to find because people are waking up to the fact that they're such great components. But this is the LXI series from Sears. It is kind of like the standard systems they had in the mid-80s, where they're kind of the same size as normal ones, except they're not quite as deep. So they're almost considered more like bookshelf type of system than a true home stereo system. And this one consists of a amplifier on top here with a built-in graphic equalizer, a tuner, which is an analog tuner, which is for the mid-80s is kind of rare, but actually, because most of by that time were all digital. And then a dual cassette deck. They were sold as a system. I don't really know if you could play them without each other because they're hooked up on the back with the standard hookup cords thing that was popular back then, where you have a complete system and it's only proprietary to each other because of the way they connect. On top here I have a Toshiba turntable, just to show you that it does have phono capabilities, and it has tape, phono, AM, FM, and then also a CD/aux input. I do not have an LXI CD player. I don't remember ever seeing one at the time I bought this, but they must have been either out there or were just about ready to come out, because they have a provision for them. And it's very hard to find any CD player these days that's in silver, period, no matter what brand it is. That only lasted for a year or two until they moved to all black, like all the other components went towards. It's not a bad system. I kind of had it tucked away for a long time because I have so many other items that I like better to play with, as you've seen from my videos. And but there's nothing wrong with the system. It's not a monster system. You're not going to be cranking out 100 watts per channel on this thing. It's probably more in the 20 to 25 watts per channel, but it does what it's supposed to do. The only thing I noticed after I hooked this up again after all this time in storage is there's a slight hum in the background that's pervasive. And I don't know if that means that some of the capacitors are getting out of tolerance or whatever, but it's not too distracting when you turn the volume up and have something playing. It disappears in the background, but when it's standing by itself, you can hear a very, very faint hum. But it still works. And so without further ado, I'm going to turn up the volume on here. I've got it set for the AM FM right now, and it does have a center adjust for balance, centered left and right. A or A plus B has two sets of speakers you can hook up to it. It's got a high filter on and off, and a loudness feature, which I've currently got turned on because I like bass. And the tuner is tuned to a station. It's got your AM, your FM mono, FM stereo, and then FM mute, so that it filters out all the noise between stations when you're switching channels, which is a lot better than listening to all that static as you're turning the stations. The two cassette deck here, this is the record side, this is the playback side. You can determine how you want to play it, depending upon how this is pushed in, and it'll engage one or the other. It's got the settings for what type of tape bias you have, whether it be normal, high bias, or metal tape. And then the same thing over here for when you're recording. It's got the recording balance and overall level. You got your push button here for zeroing out your timer, and then it's got the provisions here for if you want to put Dolby on, whether in playback or record, and also what configuration of tape you have over here too, whether it be the normal high bias or the metal. So I'm going to turn up the volume, and like I say, it's going to be on a talk station right now, so it's in mono, or actually it's in stereo on this particular station, broadcasts in stereo, although all they do is talk, so it doesn't really matter. But I'll just turn it up a little bit so you can hear it.
Performance anxiety. And so when you put me on the spot, it's hard. I don't know. Mike, help me.
Maybe you should send an SOS.
As you can see, it does play. The only downside to this particular unit, it's probably cost-cutting measure, is there's no backlit elimination, so you can't really see the call stations that you're dialing into from 88 to 108 because it doesn't have any backlit for it. And I guess that's a cost-cutting measure. Same with here. There's no illuminations here anywhere to show that this is even on, even though it is, because it's hooked up to the whole system. The only thing that you'll see lit up is the VU meters when something's playing. And the only thing on here that's lit up is the indicator lights for tape, tuner, phono, and then the CD aux. But it does play and it does work. So I'm going to put it over onto phono here. Yeehaw, huh? And so you can see that it does accept and this is a regular phono with the left and right and ground. So it does have that. And as far as the tape player goes, I will turn that to tape. Like I say, I don't have anything hooked up to the auxiliary or anything like that, so I can't put anything in there right now. As you can hear, when I got it on tape, that hum is a little louder, which is kind of annoying until you put some music on. So I am going to put that on, turn it up.
Died. And Rihanna was...
So as you can see, that works too, both sides. Even though the system is nearly 40 years ago old, it still works pretty decently. So it's a testament to that. I wish the original system I had, which was a much, much nicer system, still worked. but one by one, all the components stopped working on it, so I don't even remember anymore what I did with it. I don't think I threw it away because I don't like to throw things away. I probably donated it to a Goodwill or Salvation Army or one of those thrift stores. Somebody probably brought it home, repaired it, and is probably still using it to this day. And I'm not 100% sure who made Sears stuff, but just from the general design, I'm going to hazard a guess it's either Sanyo or Sharp. They had similar style products during this time, so I'm assuming that that's one of the two that probably made this. Whereas when you get to like the MCS, they use Techniques for all their turntables and some Pioneers, but and NEC for their receivers, and just a myriad of well-known everyday vendors that made the stuff for them, and then they slapped their label on it. That's why a lot of people like to collect the MCS, because it's really good stuff. I have a lot of it myself. One of these days I'll get around to showcasing some of it. But for now, this is what I have. Just using my standard JBL E30 speakers, which are my go-to for testing. I like them a lot. They're bi-wired and three-way, and they sound really good. And they do pump out the bass if the bass is available. So if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. Or if you have any other questions or clarifications that you need, please don't hesitate to ask a question. I answer everything that comes my way. And I look forward to hearing from you. And until next time, have a great day. Take care. And I'll see you in my next video. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.